Hello guys, I am Santiago Balisi Jr. and I'm here to tackle the three theories of crime, the biological and psychological theories. So first, let's define what is biological trait theories. Biological trait theories is a view that the criminal as a person whose behavior is controlled solely by conditions determined at birth. Most biocriminologists believe that physical, environmental, and social conditions work in concert to produce human behavior. Because of this integrated approach, this view is commonly referred to as biosocial theories. There are four sub-branches under the biological trait theories. The first one is biochemical. The major premise of the theory is that crime, especially violence, is a function of diet, vitamin intake, hormonal imbalance, or food allergies. The strength of the theory are that explain irrational violence. It shows how the environment interacts with personal traits to influence behavior. So as you can see, the research focuses on the theory are diet, hormones, enzyme, environmental contaminant, and lead intake. The second one is the neurological. The major premise of the theory is that criminals and delinquents often suffer brain impairment, as measured by the EEG, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and minimal brain dysfunction are related to antisocial behavior. The strength of the theory are that it explain irrational violence. It shows how the environment interact with personal trait to influence behavior. So, the research focuses on the theory are ADD, ADHD, learning disabilities, and brain injuries and brain chemistry. The third one is genetic. The major premise of the theory is that criminal traits and predisposition are inherited. The criminality of parents can predict the delinquency of children. The strength of the theory are that explain why only a small percentage of youth in high crime areas become chronic offenders. So the researches focuses on the theory are twin behavior, sibling behavior, and parent-child similarities. And last but not the least, the evolutionary. The major premise of the theory is that as the human race evolved, traits and characteristics have become ingrained. Some of these traits makes people aggressive and predisposed to commit crime. The strength of the theory are that it explains how violence rate and aggregate gender difference in crime rate. So the research focuses on the theory are gender differences and understanding human aggregation. So, we are done with biological trait theories. So, let's go to the next one, the psychological trait theories. The first one is psychodynamic theory. It was originated by Viennese psychiatrist Simon Freud and has since remained a prominent segment of psychological theory. Freud believed that we all carry with us residue of the most significant emotional attachments of our childhood, which then guide future interpersonal relationships. Today, the term psychodynamic refers to a broad range of theories that focus on the influences of instinctive drive and forces and the importance of developmental process in shaping personality. The contemporary psychodynamic theory places where emphasis on consciousness experiences and its interaction with the unconsciousness. In addition, the role of social factors plays in development. Nonetheless, it still focuses on the influence of early childhood experiences on the development of personality, motivation, and drives. Also, Simon Freud composed the three types of element of psychodynamic theory. The first one is id. The id is primitive part of an individual mental makeup present at birth. It represents unconsciousness, biological drive for sex, food, and other life-sustaining necessities. The id follows the pleasure principle. It requires instant gratification without concern for the rights of others. The next one is ego. The ego develops in early life, When a child begins to learn that his or her wishes cannot be instantly gratified, the ego is the part of the personality that compensates for the demands of the id. By helping the individual guide his or her action to remain within the boundaries of social convention. The ego is the guided by the reality principle. It takes into account what is practical and conventional by the societal standards. The third one is superego. Superego developed as a result of incorporating within the personality the moral standard and values of parents, community, and significant others. It is a moral aspect of an individual personality. It passes judgment on behavior. The superego is divided into two parts, conscience and ego ideal. Conscience tells what is right and wrong. It forces the ego to control the id and directs the individual into moral, acceptable, and responsible behavior, which may not be pleasurable. The second theory is behavioral theory. It maintains that human actions are developed through learning experiences, rather than focusing on unconscious personality traits or cognitive development patterns produced early in childhood. Behavioral theories are concerned with the actual behavior people engage in during the course of their daily lives. The major premise of behavior theory is that people alter their behavior according to the reaction it receives from others. Behavior is supported by reward and extinguished by negative reaction or punishment. Behavioral theory is quite complex with many different sub-areas. With respect to criminal activity, the behaviorist views crimes, especially violent action, as learned responses to life situations that do not necessarily represent psychologically abnormal responses. And last but not the least, the cognitive theory. On one area of psychology that has received increasing recognition in recent years has been the cognitive school. Psychologists with a cognitive perspective focus on the mental processes and how people perceive and mentally represent the world around them and solve problems. The pioneers of this school were Wilhelm Wundt, Edward Titchener, and William James. Today, there are several subdisciplines within the cognitive area. The moral development branch is concerned with the way people morally represent and reason about the world. Humanistic psychology stresses self-awareness and getting in touch with feelings. The information processing branch focuses on the way people process, store, encode, retrieve, and manipulate information to make decisions and solve problems. Hi guys! So, that is the biological and psychological trait theories is all about. So again, I am Santiago B. Balisi Jr. and thank you for watching.